Hello and welcome back to the channel once again. I'm here for part 4 in the series Ask a Priest with Father Hugh Mackenzie, and we're going to be talking about the resurrection. So how do we know Jesus really rose from the dead, and what significance does this have?
We know that Jesus rose from the dead because of the witness of the church, speaking authoritatively, starting with the apostles and those who wrote the New Testament, and then the teaching of the church, right down to the modern era, witnesses to the Christ, to the fact that our Lord Jesus rose physically from the dead, having died upon a cross. So that's the key reason we know it. Did you want to go into the evidence a little bit as well, a little bit more?
Perhaps some of the eyewitness testimony and the evidences that are generally referenced, because I think that this is, I suppose, the central miracle of the Christian faith.
Yes, okay. And on that theme of evidence, just to link with what I've just said, and particularly earlier episodes, and the second one on the divinity of Christ as well, just to highlight again that the key piece of evidence is that this fits beautifully with the plan of God. That is to say, as we discussed briefly in the second episode, we are body and soul, and therefore to have a fulfilling relationship with the pure, invisible, spiritual God, who is the ultimate knower and lover, we need to have that physical dimension, and God takes on a body in Jesus to enable that real communing with him to happen. Indeed, possibly in the light of some of the phrases of St. Paul in, say, the Colossians hymn at the beginning, where it says he's the firstborn of creation, maybe even just for us to exist at all, we needed the flesh of Christ somehow being the cornerstone of creation, not chronologically, but ontologically. So the body of Jesus is very important. So if it didn't rise, if his body didn't come back from the dead, all of that is arguably undermined and unraveled a bit. All of this idea of God becoming man, that man might become God, as some of the Greek fathers used to put it, like Athanasius. So that's all a piece of evidence about why St. Paul will say, if he hasn't risen from the dead, our faith is in vain. Related to that, we have sinned as well, and we need to be redeemed now from the woundedness in our nature. That is, we're still basically good, but we do have this wound of original sin. Technical name is sometimes concupiscence. Or we need to be healed, forgiven our own sins. So, and our Lord Jesus is faithful to that mission by being thrown up on a cross and dying, entering into death. And death is an awful defeat, the tragic breaking down of the body. It's the wages of the awfulness of sin. So for his original plan, if you like, of getting us all to heaven, irrespective of sin, to be completed in the light of and the reality of sin, that entering into death has to have a further word, the third day on which he rises from the dead.
Yeah.
So there's all that. Then within that we have the evidence of the 500 who saw him, at obviously the evidence that the Bible is a reliable document in various ways we touched on in the earlier episode in the Bible is important as well. The fact that the apostles died for this fact of the risen Christ. You don't die for someone who's still dead, really. Die for a living person. It's a living human nature. It's a divine person with a human nature that we need in order to live and in order to die heroically with virtue as well.
Okay, so would you agree that the resurrection is central to, I know you've linked it there to sin, so would you say it was central to Christ's mission and now in our modern living out
Absolutely.
of Christianity?
So him becoming man is foundational to his mission. His dying on a cross is clearly the high point of that love and the self-giving within time and space for his family, human beings. And the resurrection is the one that really, the resurrection brings all of that together, because he's alive, as our Lord Jesus said at one point to the Sadducees who didn't believe in the resurrection. He is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the Old Testament. He is God of the living, not of the dead. So it's a confirmation of his claim to redeem us, to heal us, to switch us back on track to the original plan of getting us to heaven through his humanity. But it's a confirmation of that. But it's also the means by which he does it. There's a real link between us and the flesh of Christ, if you like to use that word I used earlier. Ontological is the very basic level of what it means to be a human in this larger world that we find ourselves, is ultimately to be linked with God made man. And so that has to be, just at the very basic level of existence, has to be a risen, living body that does that healing and reintegration into the life of God and forgiveness.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think that nicely addresses our fourth question and our fourth episode in this series, so I'll end this one here as well.
Lovely, thank you. Yeah.